Alrighty, so today I wanted to quickly go over the amazing Yamaguchi Izuku Midoriya. This is actually the figure that got me into the line. First of all, I want to cover the stuff that I don't really use with this figure. First of all, being these big old speech bubble effects. They're really cool. They're made of they're actually like really nice clear plastic material, but I just never use them because it's a little wonky to get the effects stood correctly and everything and matched up with the character. It's nice though. That's also why Izuku is the only figure in the line to have a second stand. I don't use the second display base, and I instead distributed between my Endeavor and my All Might because they need a little bit more length on their support arms. So I decided to use the second display base for that purpose. It is still really nice to have two display bases though, just in case you want to do something like this. However, you don't even need the second base, you just need the second arm and still do stuff like that. That's the nice thing about the amazing Yamaguchi bases and a lot of figure bases like this is they have tons of little ports to hold on to. Even that looks really nice. Give me just 1 second. That looks real nice right there. They're a cool little accessory, but they don't do a whole lot. You do have a specialized clip for holding them. That way you're not just putting them in the stand grabby hand or whatever. You have this. It slides in up here. Slides right in there. Speaking of the grabby hands, let's talk about these. You get two of these because you get two bases, but they're completely useless. So just don't even bother with them, honestly. Next up, I guess I'll talk about the electricity effects. You get 12 of them, and 10 of them are these green ones, with 2 extra being the pink, which you see here. I don't usually use these because they get in the way a lot. They get in the way of articulation, like especially here in the foot, and they just clutter up the whole figure. But they're really nice. They're really nice accessories. They just peg in. You can see a little peg there, a little peg hole there. And they just come right out. That is probably the biggest thing with this figure, is that if you don't want these pieces in there, then they leave holes that don't need to be there. Like that hole stays there permanently. There's no way to cover that up unless you just want to, put a piece of plastic in there. To make things a little bit easier, I'm gonna just take all these electricity pieces off. That way I can get all of the articulation properly dealt with. And I'll talk about hands real quick while I'm doing it. So you have these two widespread hands. These are really, really nice posed hands. I think these are probably my favorite set of hands from this figure. Quickly, I'll talk about the fists, or I'll show the fists. These are really nice fists. It's just, they have these ugly peg holes in them for the electricity effects, but you can always fill that in and paint it over. Give me just 1 second, y'all. Fists. They're really, really nice. Just peg in. Here are those flicking hands. They're really nicely sculpted and nicely detailed and everything. It flicks much less in the Gamma suit, so it feels a little pointless to me. We could have gotten more hands, especially when the only other set of hands is for this, and it's specifically for the notebook and pen, which I'll get into here in just a second. But I do want to mention before I get into that, there is a separate hairpiece here for the electricity effects. So there's a normal hairpiece, and then there is a front set of bangs that has electricity on it. This is a sick little accessory. I like that a lot. You get 2 extra faces, which is a smiling one and a stern looking one, like a serious one. Both of these have removable eyes. And then your eyes, you get 6 other pairs of eyes. This set of eyes is for the smiling or serious face, though it's supposed to be used for the serious face so that it looks like he's mumbling and writing. Each of them has a letter and a number on the back. It's hard to tell here, but all of the B eyes, if I remember correctly, yes, all of the B eyes are for the angry face. You can kind of see the shaping. That has more of a curved look in, and this is more rounded. That's just for the regular happy expression. But in here as well, before I forget, is the pen. And pen just goes into this hand, just like that. Just kind of sits in there. Oh, there it goes. That's much better. It just sits in there like that. And then this slides into a groove here. If I don't cover it with fat pinky, there's a little groove there. You can kind of see that. Slides in like that, sits like that. And you can have him writing in his journal. And I think that's a cool little accessory. It's just kind of useless for an action-oriented character, in my opinion. It's neat, but, you know, I'm not a huge fan of it, personally. So let's talk about the figure itself now that we're done with accessories. The figure itself looks fantastic. Just perfect, just like it came from the show. There isn't any, like, missing details on here. Well, there might be, like, a clasp color that's missing here, but that's really about it. The whole figure is matte. It doesn't really have that much of a shine to it. It looks so good. That metallic painting is perfect. The hair shading is beautiful. I think that, personally, I think that Amazing Yamaguchi is the only one to really get this hair shading perfect. It's just black in the dark areas and green everywhere else. A lot of other toy companies, especially like McFarlane, don't get that. The boots look perfect. All of this is basically perfect. There's a little bit of paint rub here and there. That is just from the torso, so be careful of that right there. That's the biggest thing that I'd say. Faces are the most spot-on Deku faces that I have seen on any figure of this character. But besides the looks themselves, this figure has a lot more hiding under the covers, I suppose. Hiding under the hood, rather. So let us talk about that with getting to the articulation. So immediately you can pull his head from his body to get him looking up like that. And that is done with a dumbbell joint in the back of the neck here, connected to the back of the hair, as you can kind of see there. You can see that skin flesh area. That is the dumbbell joint, and it allows the figure to look all around. Along with that, there's a ball joint at the base of the neck, and you can see the hinge right there. It's a hinge and connected to a ball joint that's in the neck, so it can look all around. Everywhere that you're going to need him to look, he can look. And you can get it to look more natural, and if you're looking at him like this, it looks natural, and it just has like a little bit of neck to it. But that is everything I can think of for the head. So he can look about that far down, with everything being used down to his toes, all the way up, no problem whatsoever. Looks a little strange, but that's just how the trade-off you kind of have to make. You can get it to, if you get it angled right, then you can get it to look just fine, but he's going to look a little weird if you're looking at him from this angle, looking at him from this angle here. But in the torso, for butterfly joints, you have, it's a peg running down into the torso, and at the top of that peg is a hinged ball joint, so you can get this, but you can get it to go up like this and back like that, as well as forward like this. And let's see if he can cross his arms. He can cross his arms just like that. Go all the way back. There isn't a swivel here or anything. It's just working off that ball joint, which isn't great. But with this single jointed hinge here, you get some swivel there at the top as well as at the bottom. But that single joint is cut out enough to where it can get a little over 90 there. But you get a double peg system, but you can get some nice swivel out of both of those joints there, as well as some hinge back and forth. You twist that, boink, boink, boink. That is everything for the arms. And now onto the torso. The torso, the top joint can only get about that much, but the bottom joint can get you that much. So you can really crunch in there. He doesn't get a lot of back though. Oh wait, nope. No, he does. He gets a good amount of back actually. That's about all you're really gonna need with the back movement anyway. You get some nice tilt out of it though, some excellent tilt. Look at that. Look at that right there. Fantastic. That bottom section is on a ball joint, so is this top section. So you can get some twist out of here, but most of your twist is going to come from the bottom here. And your legs are on a T-joint, so there's a ball joint going into here. Gets you up that far. This is on an angled swivel, so you can get about... You can actually get him to do the splits using that swivel. That's great. Get him all over the place. You can kick forward if you need to using that. So the kick forward on its own is already damn good. It is better than most figures. I want to do something real quick. You can get some back out of it, so you can get him to kick up that high. If you pose him right, it looks really nice too. The whole thing with these figures is they flow together so well. It is just excellent. Anyway, the leg here is on a hinge ball joint, so just that hinge gets you this far, but the ball joint gets you basically double jointed range, and it also gets you a little bit of swivel at the bottom. That's a weird benefit of that actually. This part is another swivel, as well as a hinge in the section here. Get down that far. Your toe hinge is only up, but it is straight up, no down whatsoever, but you don't really need that. So you can get them flat on the flat on the ground like that. If I remember correctly, that's everything. The hood is on like a little ball joint, so you can kind of maneuver it however you need to. The top of the hair, a little under, we'll say, 5.5 inches. So it's a little short. For $100, well, about 90 for what I remember getting it for. I think I got it off of the Big Bad Toy Store, and I'm pretty certain it was about $90, $94 with shipping. But this figure is the best Deku figure there is out there. Figma can't beat this. McFarlane sure as hell isn't going to beat this. That Motoroid model kit is dead in the water compared to this. If you're looking for My Hero Academia figures, I can only recommend Amazing Yamaguchi. They make absolutely bomb action figures that can pose like crazy. So if you're looking for any My Hero Academia characters, absolutely go for something like Amazing Yamaguchi. They're only on their 6th figure now, and they're working on Kirishima now, but these guys can pose up a storm, and they are well worth the price for what you're paying for. If you're asking me, they are well worth it. So I think that's everything I want to cover with Izuku. So All Might shall be coming soon, probably tomorrow. So yeah, that's about it. But thank you so much for watching. If you liked, you can like it. If you want to see more, you can subscribe. Anything's appreciated. I hope to see you guys again soon.